Tonight, waiting on wait times.
We're not seeing an appreciable difference, a positive difference in those wait times.
How much longer people are waiting at Winnipeg hospitals despite months of campaign promises from the NDP. Also tonight, tariff rollback.
Yeah, I'm sure that prices will start to come down because, 25% is a significant amount.
Which products may soon be coming down in price and when you might see savings. Plus,
it was meant for the community and now it's gone.
How a weekend theft robbed a nonprofit of its latest community project and a tribute to a late city councillor.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Fixing healthcare was one of Premier Rob Canu's hallmark promises during the election campaign. But almost halfway through his mandate, it appears hospital wait times in Winnipeg are not trending in the right direction. New numbers from the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority show they're at times higher now than when the NDP took office. With more, CTV's Jeff Keel joins us now live. Jeff, what is the province saying about these numbers?
Manitoba's health minister says they have added hundreds of doctors and nurses, but they know more needs to be done. They're committed to it, but says this will take time. The nurses union says the time for action is now.
Rebecca James and Pavel White are sleep deprived.
I haven't slept. We haven't slept.
That's because they say they just spent 20 hours waiting in the St. Boniface Emergency Department as James was battling a blood infection.
Oh my God, exhausting and staying on a chair. I really hated it. And yeah, they're just really awful.
They're not the only ones waiting. The latest numbers from the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority show the median wait time in Winnipeg in December 2023 was 4 hours, an annual high. In February, a peak for the year so far of 3.97 hours. The times dipped down, only to go back up to 3.65 hours in July. All of these numbers are higher than August 2023, which was 3.23 hours 2 months before the NDP took office.
What we're hearing from both our nurses and from the public, wait times are increasing in our ERs and urgent care. So, yeah, we're definitely not going in the right direction.
Premier Rob Canu and the NDP government promised to fix health care during the election campaign 2 years ago. Manitoba's health minister says since taking office, they've added more hospital beds, 900 net new nurses, 200 doctors and hundreds of other healthcare workers, as well as primary and minor injury clinics. Plus, they say more initiatives and hires are on the way.
But what we need is a long-term sustainable trend in the right direction, a meaningful change. That does take time, but we're going to continue doing the work so Manitobans see that happen.
The minister says other provinces are facing similar challenges, calling this a complex problem that will take time to mend.
The reality is we're dealing with the consequences of years of massive closures and cuts to emergency rooms.
I think that the time for playing the blame game and blaming the previous government has to stop.
The numbers from the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority already showed that the median wait times for all hospitals in Winnipeg went up from 3.42 in July 2024 to that 3.65 number in July of this year.
So, Jeff, what plans can we expect from the province to cut wait times?
Yeah, the health minister says that they are looking at improvements to health links to make sure, people are going to where they should go to maybe keep those emergency rooms from being clogged up. There's pledges to have more doctors in emergency rooms. And remember, there's another one of those big campaign promises that the Premier made, and that's to reopen the emergency room at the Victoria Hospital.
All right, thanks for this, Jeff. Relief for consumers at the grocery store and other small businesses may be on the way. Ottawa has dropped a number of tariffs on U.S. products covered by the CUSMA Free Trade Agreement. With more on what it means for you, CTV's Joseph Bernacki joins us now live in studio. Joseph, can we expect to see lower prices?
Marilee, customers and business owners I spoke with are slightly optimistic prices may come down. However, it will likely take some time before you feel any relief.
That's at least $5 more than it used to be, as far as I can see.
At the Silver Heights Food Fair, Tom Roloff looks for the best deal on ground coffee. It's an expense he's noted keeps on going up.
Coffee, especially, so I have to look around for better prices. I don't know that anything's gone down.
But prices on the shelf could soon lower after the federal government's decision to drop existing 25% tariffs on U.S. goods covered under the CUSMA Free Trade Agreement. Food expert Sylvain Charlebois says a difference of 25% at the border will make a huge difference for many everyday grocery items.
That list would include coffee, tea, nuts, spices, dried pasta, sauces, pickles, anything in a jar coming from the U.S.
While he's optimistic prices will lower, food fair owner Munther Zeed says it will take some time to see costs come down until existing stock sells.
It's going to really depend on the wholesaler that brought it in. Are they going to eat the tax that they paid, ask for a refund? We'll see. It depends on how fast they get rid of that stock and new stock start coming in.
And he's not the only business owner hoping relief is on the way for customers. Best Sleep Center's David Keem has watched American-made furniture prices skyrocket.
If the chair cost $100, it cost $125. If it cost $200, it cost $250. And having it go the other way will be a significant decrease in my costs.
Charlebois says food inflation is now hovering at 3.4%, but he says a normal rate would be between 1.5 to 2.5%. Charlebois says the removal of these counter tariffs are a step in bringing that rate down.
All right, thanks for this, Joseph. A memorial service was held this weekend for the Norwegian hiker who went missing in the far north and was later found dead. Stefan Skotelvik was a 29-year-old man from Norway who set out on a hiking journey. He was expected to arrive in York Factory but never made it. His body was later found by a search crew near the area. It's believed he was swept away by a river. His family arrived in Winnipeg Friday. Northern and First Nation community members who had met Skotelvik during his travels also attended. His younger sister said he had been searching for a deeper meaning in life.
On the way, he met the people of Canada and fell in love for the ways of living here, together with the First Nation. The respect and love for the nature and the humbleness in how to deal with the greatness of Mother Earth must have been giving Stefan so much answers.
A family spokesperson said Skotelvik's body will be flown back to Norway tomorrow. A service is also planned at the family's local church. A 15-year-old boy is dead after the dirt bike he was driving hit a train. It happened early yesterday afternoon at the railway crossing on Pleasant Road, just south of Highway 15 in the RM of Springfield. RCMP say the teen was riding a dirt bike south on Pleasant Road when it hit a train at the crossing. The boy, who was from Steinbach, was pronounced dead at the scene. RCMP continue to investigate. Kids head back to school this week, which means school speed zones are once again in effect. Drivers should watch out for signs and slow down to 30 kilometers an hour within the posted zones. The reduced speed school zone areas are in force Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. from now right through to June. If you're caught speeding in these areas, you could face a fine of at least $200 and move down 2 levels on the driver safety rating scale. All right, Daniel Helmerson joins us now with your back to school week Skywatch forecast. Boy, we're off to a bit of a cool start.
Yeah, I can't believe it's September.
It sure feels like it though now. It
really does. Actually, it's fairly below average for this time of year. Typically, we see around 21 early September. But today, very cool throughout most of the province. Not much to show you on the map here, though, right before I came on. I did notice that there is an air quality statement now in effect for much of southern and southwestern Manitoba, rather. That is, of course, due to some wildfire smoke. It's expected to kick around for most of the evening, but clearing up overnight here in southern Manitoba. Taking a look outside right now, though, it's hazy, maybe a little bit of rain. 14 degrees in Winnipeg under those cloudy skies. The wind out of the north at 22 kilometers per hour, but gusting up to 35. The pressure's rising. The humidity merely is sitting at 70%.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
In a first for the Winnipeg Police Service, the force has appointed an external Indigenous relations advisor.
I know that we have strained relationships between Winnipeg Police and Indigenous people in our city and even in our province. We have a lot of work to do. I myself have
Sheila North brings a lengthy resume to the position. She's a former journalist and author and was MKO's first female Grand Chief. She's also served in Indigenous relations roles with the International Commission on Missing Persons and the University of Winnipeg. In her new role, she'll be an advisor to police brass, focused on improving relations with the Indigenous community.
Someone had mentioned we have the largest Indigenous population, urban Indigenous population in the nation. I think it's extremely important that those individuals are protected, felt heard, and have a say in how that policing is conducted within this community.
Police Chief Gene Bauer says one of North's first assignments will be helping in the creation of an Indigenous Advisory Action Circle.
One-man demolition.
Firefighters returned to the scene of a possible arson today. Fire broke out at the Exchange Event Center on Bannatyne Avenue early this afternoon. Crews used drones as part of the attack and had the fire out in about an hour. This is actually the second fire at this building. There was another one there on Friday, which police say was a possible arson. No one was hurt, and there are no damage estimates. The victim of the city's latest homicide is from a First Nation community in the Interlake. Police say 25-year-old Melvin Catchaway of Lake St. Martin First Nation was found seriously injured and unconscious in the 600 block of Langside Street shortly after midnight Friday. That's in the city's Spence neighborhood. He was brought to hospital but later died. His death is being investigated as a homicide. Anyone with information or video surveillance is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. An organization in Elmwood woke up this morning to find its trailer and custom-built shed gone, and with it, a huge cache of donated items that were supposed to go to neighborhood residents. Now, as CTV's Harrison Shin shows you, the organization is wondering what it will do next.
A broken chain. This was the welcome back from the long weekend that greeted the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Organization.
We had a wonderful shed on a trailer that was built by community hands and community partners, and it's gone. Somebody stole it last night over the long weekend.
Villarba says the trailer was at the corner of this lot, and there's a reason for that.
It had a little stage on it so that we could create those opportunities for people to come and gather and perform and do things.
They haven't just lost a performance space. The shed on top of the trailer was filled with donations destined for improving the neighborhood.
Some planters and some other benches and some seating and some equipment to maintain the grounds.
Villarba added the shed was a symbol of a friendship with their late city councillor Jason Schreier.
243 came to life because of our late city councillor Jason Schreier. We were going to build a commemorative space for him here, and that shed was part of the plan. But now it's gone.
Winnipeg Police tells CTV News the theft will be investigated as a commercial break and enter. Villarba is hoping the trailer and the shed come back.
Having a shed taken from a property that is meant for the community is really kind of disheartening.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Visits to Winnipeg libraries are up this year, and the number of incidents are down. That's according to a new report at City Hall, which shows total visits at Winnipeg's 20 public libraries is up nearly 11% in the second quarter compared to the same time last year. One of the exceptions was Millennium Library, which saw 6% fewer people. The report says that could be because the library adjusted its hours in the fall and buses are no longer traveling down Graham Avenue. The total number of incidents, which range from inappropriate behavior, medical incidents to assaults, are also down slightly across the system and at Millennium specifically. And speaking of Millennium Library, temporary fencing has gone up along the railing on the 4th floor overlooking the atrium. The roughly 6-foot-tall wire fence was put up over the weekend. The city previously said this fencing would be installed on the 3rd and 4th floor and will stay there until a permanent solution is in place. It comes after a pair of incidents in recent weeks, including one where a man died. A report on reducing mosquitoes in Winnipeg recommends a multi-million-dollar upgrade to the city's control facility. Right now, the city relies on fogging with a chemical called Delta Guard, but that chemical is no longer available, and the city will eventually use up what it has in stock. So it's looking for other ways to fight mosquitoes. The Standing Policy Committee on Community Services says one way is to increase larviciding standing water, but ramping up that service requires extra staff and equipment, which the report says the current insect control facility on Gray Street can't handle. It's already relying on portable washrooms, off-site parking, and uses mobile trailers as change rooms. The report recommends a $13.5 million upgrade to the facility. The plan still needs to be approved by City Council. Repair crews are working on a historic building in Winnipeg's Exchange District. The Peck Building at 33 Princess Street was built back in 1893. Today, construction fencing has cordoned off the pedestrian sidewalk around the building. The city says it received a complaint that parts of the building's moldings were hanging loose. The city ordered the building owner to remediate the issue. The fencing is in place as a precaution to pedestrians. No word on when that work will be complete. Still to come tonight, trade uncertainty.
Because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble.
The U.S. president sticking to his guns after a U.S. appeals court rules his tariff strategy is illegal. The latest when we return. Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil added $1.58. The Canadian dollar is down 1/4 cent. Gold jumped $76. The TSX rose 51 points. The Dow Jones dropped 249 points, while the Nasdaq lost 175 points. A 77-year-old man is dead, and a teenage boy is charged with dangerous driving following a crash in southwestern Manitoba. It happened Saturday at the intersection of Highway 23 and Highway 5 in the RM of Argyle. RCMP say a pickup truck driven by a 17-year-old was heading south of Highway 5 when it collided with an SUV heading west on 23. The crash sent the SUV rolling into the ditch. The driver of the SUV, a man from Killarney, died from his injuries. The teen wasn't injured, and police arrested and charged him with dangerous operation of a motor vehicle causing death. When adjusted for inflation, our province is spending less per student in public schools than it was 10 years ago. That's according to a new report from the Fraser Institute. It found during the 2022-23 school year, Manitoba spent a little more than $17,000 per student, or roughly $500 less than it did in 2013. Still, our province had the 4th highest spending in the country. Manitoba was also the only province with publicly available data where spending on teacher pensions fell. To the tariff situation now and what it means for Canada after a U.S. federal appeals court has thrown much of Donald Trump's tariff strategy into uncertainty. CTV's Rachel Aiello on where things stand now that September is here.
The start of September marked the end of Canada's counter-tariffs on U.S. goods covered under CUSMA. But today, Donald Trump showed no signs of reciprocating. The U.S. president is preparing to defend his global tariff regime before the Supreme Court.
Because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble.
Trump standing by his trade tactics comes as one cabinet minister asserted today that despite dropping retaliatory tariffs, Prime Minister Mark Carney hasn't put his elbows down.
There's no capitulation. Let's be clear. Zero. Never, never. That's not happening. We're trying to match exactly what the Americans have done.
And trade talks are ongoing.
It's a complicated negotiation.
That negotiation will be a central focus as Carney convenes his cabinet in the GTA. Starting tomorrow, the Prime Minister and his front bench will be planning fall priorities, from preparing for the CUSMA review and supporting tariff-impacted sectors to fast-tracking big projects. To that end, today, Internal Trade Minister Chrystia Freeland hosted a Made in Canada summit at a Hamilton steel plant to try and generate domestic investment in major transportation projects. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meanwhile, Ontario Premier Doug Ford left no doubt today what he thinks about a company that's moving its bottling plant from Ontario to the U.S.
So this is what I think about Crown Oil. That's what they could do. And I think everyone else should do the same thing.
Ford poured out a bottle of Crown Royal during a media conference. It was in reaction to an announcement last week by spirits maker Diageo to cease operations at its bottling facility early next year. The company says it's intended to improve efficiency. The move will affect about 200 jobs. Donald Trump may find himself isolated with a key security summit underway in China. It's attended by 3 of his political rivals from China, Russia, and India. The U.S. president will have to deal with striking images of the men holding hands, laughing and acting like the best of buddies. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on what it could mean for the New World Order.
The meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is the biggest diplomatic event of the year in China, and many see it as a way for President Xi Jinping to rally countries who have become the target of U.S. President Donald Trump. Preparations have been meticulous for what is being called China's largest military parade ever. Celebrations commemorating the end of the Second World War will also showcase new drones, hypersonic missiles, and fighter jets. Perhaps more important are the guests who will be watching the display of military might. Kim Jong-un arrived on his armored train, a rare foreign trip for the North Korean leader.
Xi Jinping has been promoting this idea since 2017 that China will become the new global hegemon in what he refers to as the community of the common destiny of mankind.
Kim is expected to stand shoulder to shoulder at the ceremony with Russia's president. Vladimir Putin has been attending 2 days of meetings where China's president praised the two countries' lasting good neighborly friendship. President Xi also talked about establishing a model of mutually beneficial cooperation and win-win relations between major powers.
I think Xi is succeeding in presenting an alternative to the multilateral rules-based order that we've lived under for the last 80 years.
That summit included Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, a country dealing with 50% tariffs from the U.S. And some believe China is trying to take advantage of the current global climate.
China is putting on a strong display of strength and is making itself out to be a responsible stakeholder in global affairs.
President Donald Trump was asked about Russia and China forming an axis against the U.S. He says he's not concerned at all about it. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
There's been a second earthquake in Afghanistan, this one a 5.2. The first quake hit Sunday. It was a magnitude 6 in a remote mountainous area. The death toll now stands at 1,400. The UN says the death toll could rise dramatically. The numbers being reported by the Taliban are from just one province. The quake has devastated villages in several provinces, flattening homes made of mud and wood. The difficult terrain is hampering rescue and relief efforts, and the UN says it's lacking resources.
We need helicopters, because fixed-wing aircraft cannot do the job. And the government has responded by deploying 3 helicopters constantly to evacuate individuals who are injured, deploy search and rescue teams and medical teams.
And in Sudan, at least 1,000 people are believed dead after an entire village has been wiped out by a landslide due to days of heavy rain. The Sudan Liberation Movement Army controls the area. It's appealing to the UN and other international aid groups for recovery efforts. To Phoenix now, where a large dust storm moved into the city on Labor Day. A wall of dust more than 9 kilometers long was seen approaching the Arizona capital at around 5:30 yesterday afternoon. It was moving about 32 kilometers per hour with possible gusts up to 80 kilometers per hour. It happened as monsoon storms moved through the area, causing power outages and a temporary ground stop at the local international airport. Returning to Manitoba now, where a couple walked nearly 800 kilometers to raise awareness about addictions. Samantha Powderhorn and Luther Alexander have been walking since August 17th. They started the Hope Movement Walk in Thompson and arrived at the Forks here in Winnipeg on Sunday. The walk aims to raise awareness about addictions and the mental health crisis, especially in northern communities.
I realized that this is the root of the trauma that we face as Indigenous folks. Because it's a lonely, lonely road, and we have to start normalizing sobriety, breaking cycles, getting an education, healthy relationships.
Powderhorn added the walk meant so much to witness and experience, especially with her best friend, Alexander. We'll pack the pencils, notebooks, and swim trunks. We'll tell you which school division is offering swimming lessons as kids head back to school.
And more cloud and rain expected over the next couple of days, but the sunshine returning for the weekend just in time for the Banjo Bowl on Saturday and the Teddy Bears picnic on Sunday. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A Manitoba senior who's been missing since July has been found dead. 69-year-old Stuart Campbell was last seen July 15th. His vehicle was found on a rural road east of Starbuck a couple weeks later. A cat crate bearing his name was found in a nearby field on Saturday, which eventually led Mounties to his body. The Public Service Committee is not recommending any changes to the way the city allocates ice time. Earlier this year, it was tasked with finding out what would happen if school division high school ice programs were given priority over major hockey games and practices. The reports say both groups are currently getting all of the ice time they ask for, and their schedules largely don't overlap. It says any changes would likely cost major hockey ice time and likely push them to look elsewhere. The report was for information purposes only. Students in St. Vital have the opportunity to learn more than just reading, writing, and math this school year. The Louis Riel School Division is offering swimming lessons for kids in grades 3 and 4. The idea was approved in the school division's budget back in March. The 4-week water safety course teaches students the basics of swimming, including how to float, how to avoid panicking in the water, and other simple swimming strokes. The course is designed to give kids survival skills and decrease incidents of youth drownings. It also targets marginalized students and new Canadian youth.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
All right, Daniel Hammerson is back now with your complete Skywatch forecast. And the first week back to school is a cool one for all those kids. They might even need a jacket this week.
Right, and for people coming back from summer vacation too. A little cool out there this evening here in Winnipeg and much of southern Manitoba and in the north as well. It's all due to a cold front coming from the north, bringing that cool air down, and we can expect to see it kick around for the next few days. And my clicker is not working, so give me 2 seconds. There we go. I was warned about that one. Did I listen? Absolutely not. But as we look at the futurecast, we could see some showers throughout the evening, heading overnight. Early tomorrow morning, a few more scattered showers kicking around. But as we move into the afternoon, it's going to clear up, making way to pretty sunny skies throughout much of southern Manitoba into your Wednesday. But as we move into Thursday, this is where it gets interesting. You can see this storm front come from the northwest through Saskatchewan into Manitoba. We should see that rain land here in Winnipeg throughout Thursday afternoon and stick around for most of the day. Now, when we head into Friday, though, cloudy, but the rain hopefully will let up by then. Tonight, though, chance of showers dipping down to 8 degrees with wind out of the north at 15 kilometers per hour. Waking up, and as merely mentioned, kids heading to school, chance of showers in the morning. The wind shifting a little bit out of the northwest at 20. In the afternoon, though, clearing, mix of sun and cloud, but the wind picking up back out of the north again, 30, gusting up to 50. And taking a look throughout the province tonight, up in Churchill, 2 degrees, over in Thompson, 0 with a chance of some fog. And but tomorrow, mainly sunny skies after a little bit of rainfall in the morning. As we look to the northwest, similar story, temperatures hovering between 0 and 5 degrees. Much the same tomorrow afternoon, 11, 12 degrees. There are mainly cloudy skies. To our west out in Brandon, down to 4 tonight, but up to 13 tomorrow with partly cloudy. Here in Winnipeg and the rest of the capital region, expecting much of the same. Some showers overnight, giving way to partly cloudy skies in the afternoon, and much of the same just over the border in Ontario. 7 degrees tonight in Kenora, Dryden, and Fort Francis. 11 tomorrow under partly cloudy skies. And our first pick of the day comes from Randy. This one's out at Lac du Bonny of some really incredible clouds out there. And the second one, my favorite bird, Marilee, is a pelican. And there's a bunch of them out at the Lockport Dam over the weekend. Keep those photos coming. You can send them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Our kids are being exposed to it in every domain of their life.
A troubling new report suggests the vast majority of Canadian students are facing bullying in one form or another. We take a look at the numbers and what some say needs to be done next in Medical Watch.
Get Winnipeg's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
After wildfires prompted the province to urge tourists to reconsider visiting Manitoba this summer, Travel Manitoba is launching a new campaign to welcome those would-be visitors back. And joining me now to talk more about the fall campaign is President and CEO of Travel Manitoba, Colin Ferguson. Colin, good to speak with you.
Good to speak with you as well.
I understand the theme of this campaign is travel with your heart in the right place. What are you hoping to convey through it to visitors?
Well, as you well know, and I know you just said it in the intro, we've been through a pretty challenging summer with the wildfire situation, and there was, lots of places in Manitoba that were affected, many other places that were not. But the challenge for travelers was should we be traveling, and people from outside of Manitoba were hearing that Manitoba was having significant problems, and they chose to cancel or postpone or what have you. So the rationale behind this campaign of Your Heart and Right Place is, first of all, to encourage Manitobans, Canadians, and international travelers alike to reconsider Manitoba as a place to visit, and to encourage them to either rebook and or just consider Manitoba as a place to visit in the first place.
You've come up with some fun and unique ways to kind of entice tourists. Do you want to tell us some of the ways you are encouraging travel to our province?
Well, first of all, we'll talk a little bit about some of the media that we're going to be using, because we're using virtually everything at our disposal. Obviously, we've got a new landing page, travelmanitoba.com/yourheart, right place. And you can get things like road trip itineraries if you're looking for more information. There are travel deals and planning resources available to you. We'll be promoting on digital, print, radio, of course, and in cinema from September through to November. Again, promoting all of the great things that this province has to offer. As well, if you're interested, come down to our visitor center at the Forks. And you can also visit the Indigenous tourism offices also in the Forks. And you can get a full complement of all of the things that you can do and see and enjoy and experience here in Manitoba. So we're pretty excited about this. Timing is not perfect. It would have been really nice to have been well out ahead of this prior to, the fires and the wildfire season actually firing up. But it's been a long time in the making, and we're ready to go, and we're really hoping that Manitobans, Canadians, and the international market will take advantage of it.
We know how important tourism is to our economy here in Manitoba. How unique was this summer? I mean, I can't remember another time, our government would tell people, maybe don't visit Manitoba. How challenging is that for specific parts of this industry moving forward?
Very challenging. The summer was very hard. First of all, our heart goes out to all of those who were evacuated, all of those who have lost homes, properties, infrastructure, businesses, those individuals who were transported to different communities. And there are still some, in Winnipeg and in Brandon and other places waiting to return home. So our heart goes out to them. That was the hard part, very hard part. The challenge that we dealt with was exactly as you have said. A lot of people, gave traveling in Manitoba a second thought. It can wait, or we'll postpone, or we can do this next year, or what have you. So the impact is going to be challenging, and the impact is literally right across the entire board. Whether you were being impacted by a wildfire or not, your business was being affected. And for some, you know, the summer season is their season, so they're going to have to wait until next year. For others, they're hoping that that they can do well between now and, you know, freeze up for, say, fishing camps. We've got Churchill is doing very well, and if you haven't been to Churchill, I encourage you to go and experience it, whether it's beluga whales in the summer, polar bears in the wintertime, or the northern lights in January, February, and March. It's incredible. It's world class on every front, and so we've got so many things to offer. We were put on pause for a while, and that was tough. And but we are encouraging Manitobans to travel once again within their own province, and encouraging Canadians and international markets to come back.
Well, this new campaign hopefully will trigger just that. Colin, thanks so much for your time tonight.
My pleasure. Take care.
Canada's Food Inspection Agency is expanding a recall for Pistachio and pistachios containing products linked to a salmonella outbreak in multiple provinces. Allo Simone brand's pistachio products and select pastries sold from a store in Quebec are just the latest products being recalled. They include the brand's sour cherries and pistachios covered in chocolate and rose petals, and dark chocolate Easter eggs. Consumers are advised to check if they have any of the recalled products and contact a healthcare provider if they believe they're sick. As of August 19th, there have been 10 hospitalizations and 62 illnesses from salmonella across Canada, according to Canada's Public Health Agency. New research suggests beta blockers may not benefit the vast majority of patients and may even raise the risk of death for some women. Beta blockers have been used for decades as a first-line treatment after a heart attack. One analysis focused only on women and found those with little heart damage after their heart attack were significantly more likely to have another heart attack if they were treated with beta blockers. They were also more likely to die than women who were not treated with the drug. Another study found no benefit in using beta blockers for any patient, male or female, whose hearts were still performing well after their heart attack. But a separate study did find benefits for those whose hearts may be mildly damaged. As students head back to class, a concerning new report is highlighting bullying as one of the biggest threats to the well-being of our country's young people. 71% of youth between the ages of 12 and 17 experienced bullying in the last year, according to the Raising Canada report. 1 in 5 teens reported experiencing cyberbullying, while 58% of youth said they had witnessed racially motivated bullying at school.
An overwhelming number of our kids are being impacted by bullying. They're experiencing it, but often reacting to it too, and they're witnessing it, whether it's in their classrooms, in the playground, or online. Our kids are being exposed to it in every domain of their life. And what I think for me as a parent was even more concerning was that only 25% of students felt that they were supported by their teachers within their school setting to be able to address bullying. So, so many of them struggling with it and yet not feeling adequately supported. That's not to suggest that teachers don't care and aren't trying, but there's a disconnect between what teachers think is happening and what students feel is happening within their classrooms.
The authors of the report are calling on the federal government to implement a national strategy to improve the lives of children.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark.
Is there life beyond the stars? None other than Neil deGrasse Tyson is coming to Winnipeg, and it's a question he wants to explore. Those details next in Spotlight.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Brett Kissel.
Is there life beyond Earth? The most famous astrophysicist on the planet is coming to Winnipeg to help answer that question.
Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark.
For the first time ever, Neil deGrasse Tyson is coming to Winnipeg. His captivating talk, called The Search for Life in the Universe, blends cutting-edge science with his trademark humor and clarity. He'll discuss the search for habitable worlds, the possibility of intelligent life, and what it all means for humanity. Neil deGrasse Tyson takes the stage at the Centennial Concert Hall on Friday, December 5th. Tickets go on sale this Thursday at centennialconcerthall.com. And now this could be your big break. Casting is now open for a Made in Manitoba curling TV series. It's called Cool Sweepings, a comedy drama about 4 Black Canadian friends who enter a curling tournament in hopes of paying off their debt with the prize money. For the main cast, producers are looking for 4 Black Canadians between 18 and 22 years old. The supporting cast includes a variety of ages and ethnic backgrounds. Filming is set to begin this fall right here in Manitoba. You can find out more details by checking out Black Film Space Manitoba on social media. The series is in conjunction with Bell 5 TV. Bell is the parent company of CTV News. And a Victorian-era mansion in downtown Winnipeg celebrated its 130th birthday.
Oh, good. I'm glad you went in there.
The Dalnavert Museum and Visitor Center held its annual Dalnavert Days celebration over the weekend. The museum has been open for 51 years, but the mansion itself was built 130 years ago. The museum's service manager says experiencing history in person can be more powerful than reading about it.
It's one thing to read about something in a textbook, but having a museum like this that is sort of a day in the lifestyle feel where you get to walk through and you get to experience it all, that really helps bring history to life, and it helps to allow people to understand more about the past so that we can understand how we got to where we are today and hopefully shape a better future.
To mark the anniversary, the museum offered free admission along with a local vendors market, food trucks, and outdoor games. Sad news to pass along. Canadian actor Graham Greene has died at the age of 73.
Oh, Buffalo, Tatanka, Buffalo.
Greene is best known for his Oscar-nominated breakthrough role as Kicking Bird in the film Dances with Wolves. Earlier this year, he was given a Performing Arts Award for Lifetime Artistic Achievement by Governor General Mary Simon. He also appeared in Die Hard with a Vengeance, Twilight, and The Last of Us. Greene's manager confirmed he died in Stratford, Ontario, following a long illness. And the weekend has made music streaming history. His song Blinding Lights is the first song to reach 5 billion streams on Spotify. And if you want to know, the song was released 6 years ago. Your primetime lineup begins at 7 with back-to-back episodes of The Big Bang Theory. At 8, High Potential takes a novel approach to crime fighting. Then at 9, the competition is heating up on The Amazing Race Canada.
Today marks the anniversary of one of the biggest maritime discoveries of our generation, the wreck of the Titanic. A look at some of that historical footage and how it made it to the public. Still ahead.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Tonight, the warning for parents as kids go back to school.
We really need to dig below the surface and really understand what it's like to be a kid today.
The risks facing students every day in a classroom, what the new research says. Later on CTV National News.
Taking a look outside right now, 14 degrees under mainly cloudy skies. The wind out of the north at 22, gusting up to 35. And luckily, I have the right clicker this time, so hats off to me. High of 17 today. That was actually this morning. Cooled off as we moved through the day, well below our seasonal norms and far below that record set back in 1983. Now taking a look over the rest of the week, clearing tomorrow, but the rain returning Thursday, cloudy Friday, but plenty of sunshine over the weekend for the Banjo Bowl on Saturday and the Teddy Bears picnic on Sunday.
Thanks, Danny. Finally tonight, it was 40 years ago this week that we got our first look at the Titanic on the ocean floor. September 1st, 1985, an expedition team found the wreckage of the Titanic off Newfoundland and Labrador. The famous vessel sank in 1912 and claimed more than 1,500 lives. Former CTV Halifax camera operator Gordon Danielson was the first member of the public to see it. He flew this footage from the ship to St. John's and fed it to CTV and CBS, who showed it to the world.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, pretty cool backstory.
You know what I'm going to show to the world? Me running back and forth there.
That is worth a watch again. It was pretty speedy.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Yeah. Next time.
Yeah. Right clicker, we're going to put the string on, we'll be good.
He's here for a couple weeks, so get it right. Don't worry. All right, that does it for us tonight. Stick around. We hope to see you back here tomorrow.